Hello everyone, this is Totter333 and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make an explosion in Blender. Now actually I want to clarify, this isn't going to be showing you guys how to make like the visual side of an explosion, but more the physics side. So maybe I'll do that in a later tutorial once I figure out a good way to do it myself. Uh, but yeah, so let me go ahead and show you guys what you'll be ending up with. So you just got a bunch of boxes, and the explosion goes off, and it looks cool. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so I've got a new file loaded up in Blender. So for this tutorial, I actually went ahead and I made a Blender plugin that's going to help you guys setting everything up so that you don't have to do a whole bunch of connecting logic bricks and adding properties. So go ahead and download that here. And yeah, so let's get started. So to install the plugin, if you guys don't already know, uh, go into File and then User Preferences and select the Add-ons tab and go Install from File. So I put mine somewhere on my desktop. Here we go. Explosive plugin.py. So go ahead and install it and then hit Enable and then just close that out. Alright, so in order to use the plugin, just go ahead and hit space and type add explosive, and you'll see it pops right up. So when you click on it, you get this empty, and it's set up with a couple different things. It's set up with these logic bricks and these properties, and you'll notice over here you've got some things that you can set. Now these are basically what you see here. So let's go through these and talk a little bit about what each one does. So size is just the radius of the explosion, how far it'll reach, and that's pretty self-explanatory. And then next we have force. Force is basically just it's pretty self-explanatory too. It's how hard it pushes the objects. And then ground deflection, not so much so. So ground deflection is something that I've noticed when looking at explosions, on the internet and Hollywood films. You notice that objects and the smoke and everything tends to be pushed upwards, and that's because a lot of the force is being deflected off of the ground. But if you don't want that, you can just set that down to 0 if you so chose. I'm going to leave it at 1 because that seemed like a pretty good value. And then spin just applies a random amount of spin to each object, and that just made it look cooler. Alright, so you'll notice when we click away or hit some other button, those options go away, and that's just the nature of plugins. But you can still set all of those values here in the properties. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and set up this scene so we can see how it works. If I can just expand this a little bit. So I'm just going to add a bunch of rigid body cubes, and we're just going to duplicate them around a bit just to make things interesting. There we go. But of course, that's never enough. We'll rotate them a little bit, give it some variety. And we probably want a better light source than this lamp. So let's go ahead and change it to a sun. And just because shadows are awesome, I'll tweak a couple of these. Let's see, set this to, that should be good. And I've noticed that variance looks better. suppose it would be helpful if we added a plane. Alrighty then. So let's see how this works. So they all fall down, and the explosion works the way we would expect it to. So because you guys have been good and sat through this whole tutorial, and because you're still listening, I'm going to show you something that's pretty cool that was an unintended feature in this. I found that if you go through and change some of the logic to repeat the script over and over again, and if you set the force to a negative number, you get some pretty cool effects. I'm going to turn the spin down. They just kind of all fly towards the empty. Just kind of neat. Thought you guys might enjoy that. So anyway, that's basically it for this tutorial. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope it's helpful in your future projects and current game projects. So yeah, have a nice day. This is Totter333 signing out.